Okay, we are back. This is like Jurassic Park for insects. I'm here with Jen, who just had a very strange insect crawling all over her. But we were here to talk about, so we've been seeing movies together recently, and we saw Superman and we saw the Fantastic Four, and one was very much better than the other, I think it's fair to say. And I thought we would make a video and talk about that. So, which one was better than the other? And I'm assuming that you have the same answer as me, otherwise this is going to be a very different video.
No, definitely Superman.
Yeah.
Yes, better than Fantastic Four for sure.
So I saw Superman again on Tuesday for the second time, and it was even better the second time I saw it.
Yeah?
Yep.
No, it was great, honestly.
And interesting enough though, I saw it on a Tuesday. $5 Tuesdays, which Regal do. So we were just saying in a previous video, one of the problems with going to the movies these days is you go to the movies and it's $15 per ticket per person, and then it's $15 for a popcorn and soda. So it's outrageous.
Ridiculous. Yeah. Go on Tuesdays. It's cheaper. AMC, Regal, I don't know what other companies there are.
Okay.
Anyway, we're, giving you advertising, so...
Yeah. Oh, well, we should
Rolling
get sponsorship deal. Here we go. But okay, so why was Superman better than Fantastic Four?
Okay, well, I grew up with, I guess, whatever. I'm considered a millennial, right? My father is almost 66. And he grew up... Okay, before I continue... Roland has given me three beers.
Give me 3 sane beers.
Yes, no.
Oh, we should talk about this. Sponsored by Tonewood Brewing in New Jersey. We are drinking Parkway to Paradise Pilsner, and it's it's done a job on you, isn't it?
It's his fault. I mean, they're very good. They're delicious.
In collaboration with Maury's Piers. There we go. Oh, does that say anything? It's a dry hopped Pilsner with Pearl and Saz hops. No, sometimes they have like little interesting things written about it, but brewed with solar energy. There we go.
Which means I'm going to have to cuddle with his dog before I drive home.
The dog would love that.
I would love that too,
yeah.
To be honest.
I think the dog was poking her little face against the window looking for that.
I was very tempted to go pet the dog, but no. Okay, yes. So, no, I preferred Superman. Now, my father, I said... He's almost 66. He showed us Superman movies, and I want to say there were TV. I know.
Yeah, there was a TV show.
There was, yes?
In the 90s with Terry Hatcher and Dean Cain. And...
No. Oh, we watched that. Oh my goodness, I can't believe you brought that up. We watched that as a family.
Yeah.
Every day that it came out, it was like, oh my gosh, now I'm going to date myself. Oh my gosh. I hope no Gen Z, Gen Alpha are watching, but maybe.
You're Gen Millennial.
I was about to say, maybe you're too old to remember this. Sorry.
My God. Maybe I did give you too much beer.
Do you remember TGIF? Proven point. Thank you. Okay, so TGIF was every Friday you could watch Full House, Family Matters, Boy Meets World, or...
I did grow up in a different country.
When did you
in the 90s, I came in the early 2000s. So
yeah, so
I watched Superman in Britain. We had a TV show called TGIF, which was TFI Fridays, with a guy. He had big chunky glasses, red hair. He was called Chris Evans, and he looked exactly like me in the 90s. And he had a show every Friday called TFI Friday, and they used to say, "Oh, well, you look like him." So now I'd like
in England.
Yes.
So what you're describing to me is Sábado Gigante, which is for Hispanic people every Saturday.
I'll say that again.
Sábado Gigante.
Oh, I like that. Say it again. Say it again.
Sábado Gigante.
Oh, I love the way you say that.
And it was a Saturday. I don't know even if they have it nowadays.
What was it called?
You're so annoying.
But you say it so great. You got that throatiness to it. It's like,
it's not even that like interesting. I'm not even rolling an R or anything. But anyway, they would come and all my Hispanic family members would watch it, and then whatever, and then they would wait for like the horse ghost. But then there was this one guy.
The horse ghost.
I know what I'm describing.
We are way digressing on video. People are like, I thought they were going to talk about Superman. They're talking about.
We're going to talk about Superman. I swear. Okay.
Okay.
But just whatever. So these people. I mean, I'm sorry. These people. Jesus. My people. My family.
What do you mean? What do you mean, my people?
Hispanic people would watch Telemundo for Sábado Gigante, and. And would wait for the people who would sing, and then the guy who would blow the horn. I'm telling you, I mean, unless you don't have any Hispanic followers, they're gonna know what I'm talking about. But anyway, what were we talking about?
Salvador Grant. No, so you used to watch Superman.
Oh,
Superman
yes.
and Lois, wasn't it called?
Yes. Oh, yes. So we would watch Sábado Gigante, and then we watch Superman and Lois, and then that would be our thing, and we would watch it. And I remember, that would be our family, bonding time, would be watching those two things. So this movie, well, actually, to be honest with you, my father watched Superman when he was a young lad.
A wee lad.
A wee lad. And, Chris Reeves and all of these young actors who played Superman. And, he was a huge Superman and Batman fan, and so DC Comics all the way, right? I don't know how I became so Marvel Comics obsessed, but super DC Comics obsessed. And
don't worry, just ignore him.
I will crash out if he's.
That's a wasp, not a bee.
That does not make it better.
No.
That makes it way
I'm
worse.
just gonna shut up.
So anyway, we have watched from the latest Superman movies. We have watched them together, my father and I, and they have been terrible. So I'm not gonna lie to you. We have seen every Marvel movie this year together, our families. We were gonna go see Superman. I had zero expectations because every Superman movie, even though I love Henry Cavill was his name? Cavill? Yeah. That's the British way? Because he's British, right? No?
Yes.
Okay. Henry Cavill, I love him. He's gorgeous. I have not liked any of the Superman movies, to be honest with you. So, we went. Amazing. Mind-blowing. Best. And regardless of whatever political leaning you have, I am considered more of a centrist. I am Cuban in nature, so, But the other part of me is also from New Jersey, so, And this movie was amazing. Hands down, really, really well done. Amazing, exciting. I am looking forward to what DC is coming out with next.
That's all my British friends are like, wait, she's Cuban and New Jersey. What does that mean? What does that mean?
It means I'm what's an enigma wrapped in an anomaly?
You're an enigma wrapped in a puzzle.
There you go.
Dipped in a mystery.
There you go.
Served with a side order of deep fried questions.
Many.
But I love it. It's so interesting. It's such a political movie.
It shouldn't be, though.
No, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, there's a situation going on right now where if you were objectively looking at it, there is very clearly a right and very clearly a wrong. And this movie was kind of like, imagine you had a fictional setting where you had the same situation arrive, and you could have the very clear wrong and the very clear right, and which side would Superman be on, and they made a film about that, which I thought was beautiful.
There's a lot of more nuance, I think,
to
that. But what I tend to focus on is, listen, there are a lot of nuances to a lot of things, right? You can look at every single country that ever brings us, immigrants in, and you can look at the statistics, you can look at everything, right? But the fact that the media plays on the fact that Superman himself is an immigrant, so this is a pro-immigrant, We all knew he was an immigrant.
Yeah.
Since 19...
In 1938, he was
1938.
created by two Jewish guys who were the sons of immigrants. And they were like, well, hey, we are immigrants from Europe. Our parents were Jewish. We got kicked out of Europe. And so we're in America. So we want to create a superhero who represents kind of, he comes from a place that got completely destroyed, like, Judaism did in Europe. And he comes to this new world and is a symbol of everything good that new world represents. I mean, he's a Jewish superhero, really, you could say. And he's played by David Cornswell, who's Jewish as well.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I guess my counter argument to like those arguments would be if he were to apply for, citizenship legally, would that really affect his ability to save the world? That would be my question.
That's interesting. Did you know Dean Cain, who was Superman in Superman and Lois, has joined ICE? Gosh, we are way going off into digression with this. But
we are. Interesting. I didn't... Wait, he joined it? Meaning
he
he's
has
like
he has got a job with ICE now.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yes. So, that's funny. There we go.
That's very interesting, actually.
Well, I think we're digressing a bit. We
are digressing. I'm sorry. But,
Wait, there we go. He's gone. Right. So, back to why...
Yes, the movie itself. Yes. Go ahead.
But you were saying how much... You weren't a big fan of No, you were...
I
you
grew
didn't
up
like the
with
movies.
it.
You didn't like the last bunch of movies, which I can understand, because as much as I love Henry Cavill, they were kind of... I watched some of them again, and people were saying, the guy Zack Snyder who made them, he's a Christian Scientist, and suddenly you look and you see a lot of like Christian Scientist iconography, and Christian Scientists believe, Christianity is a very broad umbrella, and like certain things that Christian Scientists believe he was kind of like representing, and had Superman as like this Christ figure. And I kind of like the way the new Superman movie he was a human figure. He was very human. As that speech at the end, it's like his superpower wasn't being able to fly and shoot lasers, it was being human.
That's interesting. I don't remember that specifically, the iconography part.
I didn't until I saw it again.
Yeah. I think there was, I guess now that you say that, looking back at the movie, there wasn't as much of a focus on his logo and his label as there were in previous movies. I guess that's what, but I think why I liked the movie now, I think it was because it was, I guess to your point, right? It was about the human condition. It was about, we're trying to save humanity. Even one of the villains at one point, and I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but one of the villains, minor villains considered, who's kind of keeping him like locked with kryptonite, right?
Yeah.
Even he has an aspect to him that is very human, and so he kind of goes into that part of him who is human and who is connected to his humanity, and he kind of not like takes advantage of that, but he connects to that, and he says, I can help you, I can protect you if you help me, and I think that's what brought it to more of a relatable level is that not that he's an immigrant. That wasn't really kind of a focus, honestly. It really wasn't. It wasn't that he was an immigrant. It wasn't that he's an outsider. It was that he's here trying to better existence for humanity and protect humanity and better the person next to him. That was his whole point. And he's being crucified, or he's being persecuted for that reason. And is that fair? Is that right? No. Right? So then he uses his tools and he uses the people he knows to try to save the planet. And I think that's what was relatable. Was not, this part of this political part that's being shoved down our throat, but it was, okay, how can we save our neighbor? How can we save each other?
Or save the squirrel. That was my favorite scene. Like saves the squirrel.
Yeah.
Because I mean, in the Zack Snyder ones, there was the whole thing where he was fighting Zod, and they literally like demolished Metropolis, and hundreds of thousands of people died. And Superman didn't really care because he was fighting Zod. Whereas in this version, like, he was saving squirrels, and he was stopping the monster trying to fall into the building. And he was like, "Let's try not to kill the monster. Let's try and take him to a zoo." And he was like such a good person, whereas Henry Cavill's Superman just kind of seemed detached.
Right. I think that's what made a huge difference in the two.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed this. Oh, excuse me. It's the beer. I really enjoyed this one, honestly. I came in with zero expectations except for the political stuff, and it was really well done. I thought it was really enjoyable.
And I think it's worth saying that, okay, you can say like, oh, it had a clear political message, but it's a fiction movie with a fictional leader of a fictional country. And so what you can do with that is you can maybe say, hey, maybe there are parallels to what's going on in the real world, but also you have the ability to be like, this is fiction, so all of the troubling nuances and grey areas in the real world, we don't have to have in this. We can have a fictional country which is black and white evil. Whereas in the real world, maybe there are nuances and stuff like that. So,
but not only that, but this is a fictional character who has existed since 1938. You said, and guess what? He's always been an alien.
He's always been an alien.
This didn't change.
Yeah.
No one's gonna like turn around. Like even if like a Republican director or whatever went and made a movie, they can't change that.
Yeah.
So, to me, it's. Well, what are you going to say about that? What are you going to do about that? You know, like, there's not really... You can go kind of one of two ways. And I honestly feel like they kind of remain neutral. To be honest, I kind of felt that they did. Now, whether, you know, whomever the director, producer, or whatever said publicly, that's a whole nother story. But in the movie itself, it didn't really lean... I don't think it leaned politically.
He was a good person.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, Superman in 1938 was created to be like truth, justice, and the American way, and what America is supposed to represent. And this movie was truth, justice, and what America is meant to represent. And there was that wonderful scene at the end where he sees his American parents from Kansas. And the footage of that, and they're the people who raised him. They're the people who gave him his values. I was in floods of tears.
That lost me. No, I had to look away because I was gonna lose it. I was gonna lose it. But you just spoiled the ending.
Oh, well, no, I mean, I think everyone sees it.
Oh, okay. Well, yes, no, when he said, I want to see my family, and they showed his adoptive family, oh my gosh, I got so emotional, because adoption, you know, sometimes is looked as, you know, secondary, and yet adoption is so important and so real, and so many kids could benefit from being adopted. You know, I have several cousins.
So my mother was adopted, and it's funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she has zero interest in her biological parents because she absolutely adored her real
amazing.
Parents, and thought that's, he was a chaplain, and she was, and so her values and who she is came from her adopted parents, not her biological parents, and that's kind of, I guess that was kind of a message from the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. I think more people should see that, honestly. My cousin too, same thing. It was always an open adoption. My aunt was very open about it, and yet she always, you know, just loved her family, her adoptive family, and saw that as her own family, and we were always her own family. And
it's funny, Marvel, I mean, the Fantastic Four is meant to be about family, and Marvel's always had that message. I remember in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 or something, where Wandu or something was like, he may have been your father, but he's not your daddy.
Yeah.
And it was, that's a message, you know. Your parents are the people who raised you, not the people who donated their biological material for you.
Right. Nature versus nurture, right?
Yeah.
There's you know, importance in both, but still.
Okay, so why did Superman succeed? Why did Fantastic Four fail? Well, not fail, but why did it fall short where Superman succeeded?
Well, do you want me to be honest?
Always.
I think that part of it is that the expectations for Fantastic Four were very high.
Yep.
And the expectations for Superman were very low.
For you personally, I guess.
No, I think a lot.
Yeah.
But yes, for me personally. But I think a lot of people kind of, um, including, I think that this was really the first movie of the DC comics that actually really kind of worked well.
Yeah.
So I think it opened up the DC comics for a lot of fans to kind of be like, ooh, I'm interested in this now. Let me read it, or let me kind of, educate myself in the backgrounds and the stories and that sort of thing. Fantastic Four, I guess, to the opposite end, it has been done so many times. And maybe not correctly, maybe not really in tune with the comics that it was really meant for. So I think it has a whole generation. What are there? There are three, I believe, right? Three previous.
Well, there was a movie they made in the 90s that they never released just to keep the rights.
Oh.
And there were the two movies also in the 90s, or whether the early 2000s with Chris Evans and
2000s, early 2000s.
And then there was the other one from 2015 or something, which I didn't even bother seeing.
Oh, I don't even know about that one. I think I just saw the two.
Yeah.
I think people had that in mind kind of when they went to see that, perhaps. And it's very different from those.
Yeah.
Very, very, very different. So, I'm trying to think of, I mean, I can't really comment on the acting because I think the acting was both really, really done well. You have other elements, right? Such as, you know what Superman had though? I feel that Fantastic Four kind of had, but didn't really capitalize on, was a backstory. So yeah. Superman kind of, while you're watching it, you knew it had a backstory, but you didn't know it.
I think that's a brilliant point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Fantastic Four, even though it didn't have like the origin story, the first 5 minutes were, the Ed Sullivan Show or something talking about their backstory.
Right.
Whereas Superman, it was just like, okay, here we are, we're right in the middle of something that's going on.
Right.
And there are all sorts of characters like the Green Lantern and Hawkgirl that they don't bother explaining. They're there, and it's like you're thrown into a fully built out world.
Right.
That makes you interested in learning more about it, but it doesn't force feed it. Whereas I think Fantastic Four, to a certain extent, is kind of falls victim to what a lot of Marvel and the old DC movies did, which is like, we're going to make a movie that's an advertisement for 4 movies that we plan on making, and then they end up only making 2 of them.
Yeah, that element of exposition, right?
Yeah.
Is lacking in Superman, but it's not necessary. It's almost it's almost fluff.
Yeah.
In Fantastic Four, I find. So yeah, I think, and if you're looking at too the broader concept of the universes, right? Like the DC universe versus the MC universe, right? You have Fantastic Four that may have added certain elements, right? I don't think as well as other portions did, but DC, the Superman, added so many elements. Now, like, I want to go, versus Fantastic Four, I'm like, I knew this person was coming. Like, I knew Doom was coming. I knew, you know.
Right. And I watched Superman. I'm like, who is Mr. Terrific?
Right.
Why does he have these balls that float around? Who is Guy Gardner? Why does he have his haircut like that? Where did the dog come from? And they just don't explain any of it, but it makes you interested. Whereas it's kind of like, they kind of hold your hand with Fantastic Four of like, let's give you the introduction to these characters.
Exactly. So yeah, there were a lot of things to try to think of any other.
Well, I'll ask you one final question
Yes.
before we wrap it up, which is, do you think you'd have thought differently about the Fantastic Four and it would have been a more successful movie if it got released like 10 years ago? Exactly as it is, but 10 years ago, before we'd had like a decade of superhero movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think it was a really solid movie, but it trod on a very well beaten path.
Right, and I think that, well, you also have to kind of think about too, you know, we already had this idea of the multiverse, right? And
Yeah.
I'm not talking about comic purists who have read all the comics. Like, I'm not one of those. I've tried. I don't have the time.
I mean, you're pretty hardcore.
I am
You're-
pretty hardcore.
You're more than me.
I'm pretty hardcore, but not that hardcore. But yes, I think they trotted on a line of a lot of things that have not been introduced to a lot of different people. Acting superb throughout. You know, production value superb. There was actually a moment I even turned and said, "Wow, this cinematography is amazing."
Yeah.
This point where I think the Silver Surfer was talking to Flame.
Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny, and
You just call him Flame.
I know. I'm sorry. And
Just imagine you're like at brunch or something with him. It's like, what's his
Flame,
name?
where are you? You know, come here, Flame. No.
It's like, she doesn't even know my name.
Well, you know.
That's so Jen.
I mean, you gotta get over it, no. But I think I turned and I was like, the cinematography of this scene.
Brought to you by Tonal Brain.
I mean, listen, I warned you already. Was stunningly beautiful. Like, as a photographer, stunningly beautiful. I was like, wow, that shot. And listen, I know it's not real, but it was gorgeous, you know. So I think if it was 10 years ago, I think people would have been like, wow, you know, what's next? But where's Galactus, you know? But oh, there's so much more, you know. The Eternals.
Yeah, the Eternals was
Terrible.
the first movie that I was really disappointed in.
Oh my gosh, it was terrible.
I think it was the
terrible.
first movie I didn't go to the cinema to see. The first Marvel movie I didn't go to the cinema to.
That movie was terrible.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Kevin, but that was terrible.
You know how they say, like, that meeting could have been an email? It's like that movie could have been an email.
Yeah, that movie could have been like a little exposition
Yeah.
in the movie of another movie. Maybe Spider-Man. I don't know. But yes, yeah. Superman really... I went in there with like kind of negative expectations and it like superseded all my expectations. So, loved it. Loved it.
Okay, so wrapping up, what's the next one that's on this? Is it Doomsday or is it... I know they're filming Spider-Man right now. The next Spider-Man, but...
It wasn't... No, it's Mr. Wonder... Mr. Wonderman, I think? Wonderman? It's supposed to be kind of like a
Mr.
tongue...
Wonderman?
Something like that. It's
My
supposed to
name
be
is
like
Mr. Wonderman.
Just in case it wasn't clear.
Yeah.
It is a tongue-in-cheek comedy, but it's coming out, I believe, December of 2025. I believe.
Right.
I could be wrong, but that's the next. I believe.
Okay, well, we will go and see it.
Yes.
So, until then, cheerio, and thank you for joining us.
Yes.